Hi, my name is Christian, and over the past 2 weeks, I've been challenging myself to learn Kotlin and recreate a tic-tac-toe game that I created previously in Python. I wanted to show you the classes and functions I've been working on to make this program. First, let's look at the board class. At the beginning of this class, I have my variables. So I have my variables. Here we have empty space, number of moves, the Boolean that's saying the game is not over, a private variable for the board, it's an array, and that just stores the rows and columns. Then I have my function that resets the board. And then I have a function called print board, and that does just what you think it does. It prints the board. So it checks if there is an element in the row, and it prints a blank space, or it prints whatever is in the element. So whether it be the X or the O. And then I have a function that places the pieces. So it checks if the game is not over and the position is valid and the coordinates are empty. And then it increments the move number by 1. And so that's how it keeps track of the number that you're on. And then, which also helps determine the turns. The this if statement says that if the game is over and if the move that was played is a winning one, then it is a win for that player, or if it isn't, but the game is still over, then it's a draw. This function right here, it checks to see if the position is valid. So it checks to see if the spot is available, and it returns a Boolean saying true or false. Next, I have a function that basically determines if it is the winning move. So it checks the row, and it checks, so it says if the row is empty or full, then it returns the true, or it breaks. And so then this one right here checks if the column is if it's all the same, so if it's all X's or all O's, and if it is, then it returns true. And then I have a problem here though. I don't have anything if it is a diagonal. So if you won diagonally, then too bad. Then I have a function that resets the game. So when this function is called, then it also calls the reset board and resets it. So then that is my board class. Now, if we go on over to my main, I have imported Java. And then here I have my other variables. So this one just determines the size of the board. Well, it's just going to hold the value that says the board. It says that player 1 is X's and player 2 is O's. Then I have my current player variable, but it's empty right now. And then my answer is empty too. That's just what the user inputs. And then I have my main function. This is where I'm going to be calling all those functions that I made in the board class and getting all those to work. So first, it's going to ask the player for the size of the board, and it takes that number and it actually turns it into an integer. And then it stores that integer into this variable board, and then it prints the board. It calls the print board function. So it doesn't have to be just 3 by 3. It can be whatever the user says that they want it to be. And then we have the while loop here that basically prompts the player depending on the turn that it is. So this one, it just takes whoever's turn it is, and it says enter the row number, and then it takes that number, and then it asks for the column number, and then it places those, but it's important because most people think of like rows 1 through 2, but since we're working with arrays, we need to basically subtract 1. So if they say that it's 1, it's actually going into the slot that they think that it's going into, rather than having to put in 0 because that's the first spot in an array. Then I have, if the game is over, then it asks, do you want to play again? Type yes or no. I mean, well, mine just says yes, but it can say no, just haven't done that. So then it takes that and reads that. And so those things are called like the is play again. That's called from down here. It's a function that basically says it will reset the game if Y is inputted or the word yes is inputted. And then this function for take turns just basically alternates the turns. So depending on the player, that's the player's piece that gets put into the board. Unfortunately, I have a problem with my for each, and I cannot get this to run, but hopefully that paints a picture of what it's supposed to do. All right. Also in my GitHub, I have also included my file that I basically practice with to learn how Kotlin works and how it differs from previous languages that I have been learning. So that's just in there so you can see how basically equations and values and arrays work in the Kotlin language. I hope that helps you out and helps you understand what my intentions were with this program. The link to my GitHub will be in the description bar, and thank you for watching.